And we are live. I'm going to enable the chat as well, just in case. Yeah, it's not enabled for everyone. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Security Masterclass by Astra Security and the 403 Circle. Please let us know where are you all joining us from and how excited are you for this session today. I have enabled the chat for everyone, so you can drop your comment in the chat. I see some attendees over here. Hey, Andreas. Hey, CJ. Hey, Pankaj. Hi, Pratisha. Pratisha is my colleague. Hey, Robert. Hey, Saurabh. Hey, Valeria. Looks like we have people from across geographies here. Yeah, please let us know where are you joining us from. Hey, hi, CJ. All right, while we wait for a few more attendees to join, I would quickly share my screen and give a little brief about the session today and about Astra and the 403 Circle. Just gonna share my screen now. Yeah, Roger, let me know if you can see my screen.
I can.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So a quick rundown of what are we going to talk about in this session today. So as you all know, we have Roger Grimes with us, who's the CISO Advisor at KnowBe4. And the topic for today's session is how hackers hack and how to best defend yourself. As the title explains itself, that today we are not going to talk about how you secure your infrastructures, but also how systems get hacked in the first place and how we can prevent our systems from getting hacked in the first place. So some of the subtopics that we will touch upon first is the major ways hackers actually break in today. Then we will talk about the two most common attack paths used in real world breaches. Then a plenty of practical examples from real incidents. Then Roger will also dive into how to defend effectively and not just through check boxes. And then towards the end of the session, we will have a live audience Q&A. So if you have any questions for Roger, feel free to drop them in the Q&A or the chat section. A very quick rundown of the 403 Circle and Astra Security. So the 403 Circle is a community of more than 300 CTOs, CISOs, and similar tech and security leaders. We have a community on both Slack and WhatsApp. If you would like to be a part of the community, I will ask my colleague Pratisha to drop the link to the community in the chat and you can apply. Then it's not just a forum or WhatsApp group, but we regularly do these security masterclasses with some amazing leaders like Roger. and run different community initiatives such as meetups and AMA sessions. So if you would like to be a part of it, feel free to apply. A quick brief about Astra. So at Astra Security, we are building a continuous PTAS platform, which helps over 700 companies continuously scan their infrastructure for security vulnerabilities. We make otherwise chaotic pen test a breeze through our PTAS platform, our DAST vulnerability scanner, our API security platform, and our cloud vulnerability scanner. If you would like to know more about Astra, you can go and check out getastra.com. Now the time to meet the speaker and the guest of our today's session, Roger Grimes. If you are curious about computer security, you should definitely know about Roger. He is someone who has authored 15 books and over 1,500 articles. He has worked with some amazing companies such as KnowBe4, where he's currently serving as CISO Advisor, and companies such as InfoWorld and Microsoft. We will keep sharing the link to Roger's LinkedIn profile and Roger's authored books. We're going to link the Amazon URL in the comment section, so you can definitely do check it out. Quick flow of the event. So this one is going to be a little different this time. We usually do this as a fireside chat, but for this particular one, Roger is going to present and gonna give you a deep dive presentation. And this session is definitely getting recorded, and the recording will be made available post the event. And the live Q&A session will happen after the presentation is done. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again for joining. And thank you so much, Roger, for agreeing to do this. Super excited for this session. Over to you. I'll now recede into the background.
Thank you so much. Let me share my slides. Let me get that going. And I talk fast, so you won't be able to read what's on the slides, but you can hear what I say. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. As they shared, I've been doing this 39 years, hard to believe. I just released my 16th book called How AI and Quantum Impact Cyber Threats and Defenses. And to anyone on this call, I'm going to send a free copy of that book, PDF form, to Astra Security. And if you email them, you can get a free copy of my book, PDF copy of my book on how AI and quantum impact cyber threats and defenses. And I'll be talking a lot about AI today. Been working for KnowBe4 for almost 8 years. Next month, it'll be 8 years. Already covered what we're going to cover. I'll get going. But today, here's the average attacker workflow. Someone's connected to the internet. They typically get tricked into downloading a Trojan horse program, what we call a stager. It's not the program that's going to do all the work. It's just its job is just to get onto that person's device. They either get tricked into downloading it, or they have unpatched software or firmware, and that's how it gets in. Those are the two major ways. But either way, this stager Trojan gets on the computer, modifies the device or computer so that it can live during a reboot. It then dials home, we says, goes back to the command and control servers. Those command and control servers are oftentimes on people's computers on the internet that don't even know they're acting as command and control servers. They just think their internet's really slow, and they're getting commands from the hacker group about what to do. If the bots, the stager bots, discover they're on corporate assets, they will start to spread around the network. They'll find out if there's a common service. A lot of times there's a common management service, common antivirus service, common patching service, and they'll steal the master password from that service and use it to compromise all the other computers and pick up as many passwords as they can along the way. Typically, they go from infecting the first computer to all the computers in an environment these days in under an hour. It's pretty quick. And if you're on your computer connecting to websites, going to places, putting in your password, that sort of stuff, they're collecting all those passwords and uploading them to the internet. a hacker or hacker manager or group eventually logs into the command and control servers, gets a list of all the new break-ins. They typically list them by domain names, computer name, network name, IP address. They kind of figure out what they want to do. They will dwell undetected, usually in networks, sometimes years. I've seen hacking programs in companies so long that the company thought it was a part of their security software and actually made sure that program was on every computer they were adding to their environment. But they look around, they read emails, they analyze things, they look at financial statements, they try to find out how does this company make its money, how much revenue does it bring in. They may decide that they're going to hack it. If not, they may sell access to that company through an auction or what's known as access brokers. They actually have auctions where they'll say, hey, we broke into this pharmacy company. It's got 120,000 employees. It's got revenues of $70 million. And so they actually sell access if they don't want to use it. I've seen it go into companies as small as a 10-person t-shirt printing shop where they would sell access to that for someone to be able to break into a very small business. They will steal whatever they want or insert malware, steal passwords, still, try to break into bank accounts, install crypto mining Trojans, install ransomware, do whatever they want. They kind of figure out what they're going to do. If it's ransomware, they'll eventually launch encryption and ask for a ransom. That's how most of it happens. But as a defender, I'm always trying to say, well, how do we stop that? And it's like, how do you stop someone from breaking into your house? If you have a bunch of people, ninjas, breaking into your house all the time, and you want to stop them from breaking into your house in the future, you need to figure out how they're breaking into your house in the first place. Is it through the windows, the ceilings, the doors, the floors, the wall, the floor, the attic, the chimney? How are they breaking into your house? Because if they're breaking in through your windows, it does you no good to put on a stronger door. And the same thing is in computer security. If we want to stop hackers from breaking into our devices and networks and companies, we need to figure out how they're breaking into our organizations. And here is the 13, 14 ways that all hackers and their malware programs have ever broken into any computer system. I've been doing this almost 40 years. Every single hacking incident can be tied to one of these. I think it's 14 different ways. But you really don't have to memorize all 14 because just two of them account for 90 to 99% of the risk. The vast majority of hacking is accomplished through social engineering, where they trick someone into downloading something or providing their credentials, or the hacker exploiting unpatched software and firmware, although sometimes it can be 0 days where there's no patch available. Those two things together, just those two things, account for 90 to 99% of the risk in most organizations. It's about 99% of the risk for people at home. It's about 90% of the risk of organizations. But the vast majority of these two things, if you don't take care of these two things, you're not going to stop hackers. And let me say, you can be broken into all kinds of other ways, like incorrect access control permissions, SQL injection. There's all kinds of other ways you can be broken into, but most of the time when you're broken into, it's one of these two methods. And let me say, it's been that way since the beginning of computers. It is still that way and going to be that way in the future, just AI enabled from here on out. Social engineering, again, is the number one way. It's essentially somebody trying to trick somebody else into doing something they shouldn't do. Again, usually it's downloading malware, clicking on a link, or providing credentials, or it could be other information, providing payroll information or providing their bank account information or something like that. Oftentimes the hacker, the scammer pretends to be somebody else. They pretend to be the bank, or they pretend to be Microsoft, or they pretend to be Instagram, or they pretend to be law enforcement, or they pretend to be your CEO or your coworker. And that's because it's people are more liable, more are usually going to trust somebody they know more than if they knew it was a stranger in Nigeria. The most common type of phishing is email, right? Like in these two examples, they're just phishing emails they pretending to be from PayPal or Microsoft, but they contain links they're hoping people click on. But if people hovered over the links, they would see that they are not really coming from PayPal. They're not really coming from Microsoft. But something like 33% of people that haven't been trained to recognize social engineering click on the link. So it's highly highly profitable. A lot of people clicking on links that they should not click on. A lot of the stuff is coming through social engineering these days. These are some older examples, but like one is claiming to be from Facebook and you need to click here to update your Facebook account. Well, Facebook is cloud software. You don't need to update it. Facebook updates it on their end. This other one is kind of claiming it's Twitter verification. Well, it's x.com today, not even twitter.com. But in this case, they're like, welcome to Twitter verification. So someone apparently has been sent an email telling them they have to re-verify or log in for some reason. If it really was from X or Twitter, it would the URL would say x.com or twitter.com, but it says 000webhostapp.com. That's a free web host apping place, not Twitter, not X or LinkedIn. Here's one that's pretending to be from LinkedIn, owned by Microsoft. And they're like, your account has been suspended. Click here. Well, if it really was going to LinkedIn, it would be linkedin.com. But in this case, it's going to linked.ni. NI is the country code for Nigeria. I worked for Microsoft for 11 years. We have no offices in Nigeria, but this person is hoping you click on that link and go to a server in Nigeria that will collect your LinkedIn credentials. A lot of times on social media, the social engineers will send around news stories and links that they hope you click on. A lot of times when you click on these links, they will say, hey, we need to install this software. So you watch this video. Like a really common one that I saw for a couple of years was, do you want to see a rich kid that's crashing his dad's $2 million Lamborghini? Who doesn't want to see a rich kid wreck a rich car, an expensive car? But that video was all about social engineering. If you clicked on it, it would tell you that it needs to install Adobe Acrobat so you can watch the video, or a video codec or something like that. So, when you go to watch a video, you shouldn't be told that you have to install anything. And if you're told to install something or to approve something, you probably want to say no. It's probably malicious. We're seeing a lot more social engineering attacks come through LinkedIn and Instagram. A lot of fake job openings, a lot of hackers and nation state hacking. They pose as fake employers, and they'll tell you you need to upload they give you this dream job. They're like, it's the best salary and it's this fantastic job, but they're going to have you click on something that's going to have you install software, and that software is going to then rob you blind or rob your employer blind. Or they'll send some threatening note like, hey, your post, violated copyright law, click here. And again, if you click on those links, they are not taking you to, in this case, LinkedIn or Instagram. It's just taking you to links like InstagramHelpNotice.com, which has nothing to do with Instagram.com. But a lot of people don't know it. If they're not trying to social engineer you, they're trying to exploit your software and firmware vulnerabilities. What is a vulnerability? It's an error or bug in the programming of the software. When I talk to people that don't know what patching is, but I tell people patching is like fixing a grammar error in a document, right? You download this patch, it fixes the error, it fixes the grammar error. But many times vulnerabilities in software and firmware can have an operational issue that can be taken advantage by hackers. You should always aggressively patch your software and devices. Last year, there were over nearly 50,000 separately announced, so over 48,000 separately announced software and firmware vulnerabilities. Some from Microsoft and Google and Adobe and just everywhere, all over the place. That's more than 132 a day after day after day. It just gets worse and worse and worse. We're no doubt going to be above 50,000 this year, if not 100,000. And that's on top of the hundreds of millions of malware programs. There's now over 500 million malware programs out there, all trying to steal money from you or your company. And it's fairly easy if you're a hacker to use unpatched vulnerabilities to attack people. There are hundreds of hacking tools that will scan somebody's device or network and tell them what software they're running. Like the most common one, and this is an old picture of it, but the most common one is Network Mapper or Nmap. Anybody can go to nmap.org and download Network Mapper. It was first released well over almost going on 3 decades ago. Anybody can download that, and you put in a domain name or IP address and tell it to scan the site, and it can tell you not only the open TCP/IP ports, but the most important part is what software is running behind those ports. Is it Windows or Linux or BSD or Chrome? Is it, what software it's running? Is it running a web server? Is it running OpenSSH? Is it running Apache web server or Microsoft Internet Information Server, and so on? And the most important piece is it will tell you the version number. The version number will tell the hacker whether or not that thing has been patched. I have never in my life ever seen a fully patched system in my life. So you always find something that's unpatched. You can then go to a vulnerability website. There are dozens to hundreds of these out on the internet. The most popular one that I used for a long time was exploit-db.com. And if you go to exploit-db.com, it has I think over 50,000 exploits now. So if you need one from Windows, if you need one for Linux, if you need one for Apple, whatever it is, they have the exploit. Typically, from the time a vendor announces a patch to the time the exploit ends up on exploit-db is about 15 minutes today. It's all done through AI, very quick, very easy for anyone to go get the exploit that then attacks the vulnerability. And again, takes over the system all the time. What has changed recently is that all of this, everything I just told you, is being put into AI, autonomous agentic AI. You now have these roving bots that are trying to break in, and they're morphing into this bot AI agent that will try to socially engineer their way into your company. And if that doesn't work, they'll do vulnerability scanning to see if they can find vulnerabilities. And if so, they'll take advantage of them. And then they can actually break in and steal everything. This is just happening now. These autonomous agentic AI hack bots. I say not here, but will be soon. They are just now starting to show up. And in 2026, it will move from hackers doing most of the hacking to AI doing most of the hacking. In 2026, by the end of 2026, most hacking will be being accomplished and most social engineering will be accomplished by AI. That's something very important to understand because the AI can do it better, faster, more pervasively across more things, and be more successful. This is going on right now. I used to tell people I've been teaching about AI and AI attacks for years. And for years, I told people this is coming, but you don't need to worry about it. A couple of months ago, I changed my messaging. I now tell people this is what you have to worry about. These agentic AI malware hackbots. They are really exploding, really taking off, and allowing attackers to be far more successful than they otherwise could. And so I like to always tell people that are listening, have you patched your Wi-Fi router lately? At home you got a Wi-Fi router. Have you patched it lately? Have you patched all the software at home, all the stuff on your laptop and your phones and all that stuff? Most people I talk to don't even know how. A lot of people don't even know they have a Wi-Fi router at home, but they certainly haven't patched it. Most of them don't know how to patch it. So one of my things I would say, just for you personally, if you don't know how to patch your software at home, learn how to patch all your software. Make sure you're patching your Wi-Fi routers because these hack bots are taking over people's Wi-Fi routers. Learn how to patch your Wi-Fi router. That would be my advice to you if you have not done it before. Multi-factor authentication is coming in a big way. Here's different types of multi-factor authentication that people could frequently see or use. You should absolutely use multi-factor authentication to protect valuable data and systems. At our company, we use FIDO-enabled YubiKeys. It's among the strongest types of multi-factor authentication. But I got a bunch of other types here shown on your screen. And let me say that the most popular types, 95% of multi-factor authentication, very easy to hack, very easy to social engineer. And I will show you the vast majority of multi-factor authentication, very easy to socially engineer around or to hack past. And the way that it's done is that a hacker sends a victim, once they know the victim's using MFA, they will send them a phishing email that has a rogue URL link in it. That tells the person to log in using their MFA. So maybe they're telling them that they need to log into their corporate email or into Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But about 30% of the victims, not noticing that the email has a fake link in it, click on that link and they think it's going to take them to the real website, but instead that link takes them to a hacker website that we call man-in-the-middle rogue transparent proxy website. It just means the hacker's computer. That hacker's computer then connects to the real website and passes everything from the victim to the real server and the real website back to the victim, so that the victim, what they're seeing, everything looks the same except for the URL. Most victims don't notice that difference, but because the hacker has that man-in-the-middle computer, they're able to see everything the user types and sends and everything the website sends back. So they can see the person type in their login name, their password, their MFA code if they're asked to provide an MFA code. And a lot of times the hacker's trying to collect a cookie. Every time someone successfully logs into a website, it sends a text file called a cookie back to the victim's browser. That's kind of like their logon key. It allows them to log on and stay in a website and move around and come back days later and get on the website without having to re-log in. The hacker gets that. It allows the hacker to become that person. And I'm going to show you an example of that. And the hacker, if they get your cookie, will disconnect the real victim and then log in as the victim. And that website has no way of knowing that it isn't that victim. And this is a very popular type of attack, happens millions of times a day. I'm going to show you a video recorded. My late friend, unfortunately passed away last year, Kevin Mitnick. He used to be one of the world's best hackers. He passed away due to cancer, but he made this demo showing how someone could send you an email that looks real, like in this case, it can be a LinkedIn invite, but it really is a man-in-the-middle attack, and I'll show you how it works.
So here we are on an inbox, a regular looking inbox, and one of those emails has a phishing email. Kevin's going to click on it. It looks like just a normal email from somebody saying, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. But this is a phishing email, and if the victim was looking at the URL, they'd see that it's LLinked.com, not LinkedIn.com. But a lot of people would miss that, think it was from LinkedIn, and then clicked on the button. When they clicked on the button, if they didn't realize it was taken to the wrong place, if you look up in the top hand side there, it's LLinked, not LinkedIn. But really what this is a man-in-the-middle website that's capturing when the victim types in their login name and password. And even LinkedIn is going to prompt the victim to input their MFA credentials after they put in their login name and password. But really what the victim is connected to is a man-in-the-middle website that is capturing all that information, the login name, the password, and the multi-factor authentication code that they type on in here. So the person gets sent the code, they type it in, they think they're putting it to the real website, but really it's a fake website that's capturing it. If you look behind the scenes there, the hacker, using their hacking tool behind the scenes, has captured the login name and password. The victim is actually in on the real website right now. It has passed them through to the real website. But this is what the hacker captures. You can see email address, password, and what's called the access control token cookie. They could have, if they wanted to, captured that 4 or 6-digit code that they typed on in, but they really, in this particular case, don't even need it because they have the website's cookie. Every time someone logs in successfully, whether it includes MFA or not, the website will send back a cookie that basically says, hey, you've been approved, you authenticated. The hacker can capture that and then paste it into their browser. So here is an example. Kevin is going into his browser, going to the LinkedIn real website. He's not even going to try to log in as the user with their login name and password. He's simply going to inject the stolen cookie into his browser session. He's doing it right here. He's going to open up the admin console, the developer console, copy that stolen cookie into his browser, and simply refresh his browser, and he will be logged in as the victim. And there is the attacker on the real website and is the victim. And this sort of attack would work against probably 90–95% of multi-factor authentication today.
And how could it have been stopped? Simply by the victim noticing that the URL was not the right URL. But the reason why I include this is that a lot of people think if they're using multi-factor authentication, that it significantly reduces their chance of being hacked. And it does, but it doesn't mean that you can't still be tricked and socially engineered. Although I will push again that these these FIDO-enabled YubiKeys are they are not subject to that particular type of attack, but all MFA can be attacked. I wrote a book called Hacking Multi-Factor Authentication. That is the Bible in hacking multi-factor authentication. I can hack every MFA method at least 5 different ways, most of them 10 different ways or more. But MFA is a good thing, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to think and pay attention. But a lot of people, they get MFA and they, oh, it can't be hacked. You can. You can easily be hacked. SMS authentication. We all know that. We all get lots of verifications. Let me let you know, it's weak authentication. It's really not that much better than a password authentication. But here, these are fake SMS messages I got. The attackers were hoping I would call a phone number where they would answer the phone and pretend to be that company, or they want me to click on a link or something like that. Personally, most of the messages sent to my phone these days from people I don't know are these phishing, smishing messages, and you have to be very careful about them because anybody can claim to be anything. In America, I have friends that tell me that I can't socially engineer them. They're too smart. They're people like me. You can't trick me, Roger. This is the trick I use to hack them. I send them a message. I learn what the phone number is. I learn where their house is, and then I send them a message telling them from the city, from where they live, what's called a county. I say, a county emergency message. There's been a large water main break that's been detected near your house. Do not drink the water till further notice. We apologize for the inconvenience. Do you wish to be enrolled for proactive status updates about this event? Reply yes or no. All my friends have always said yes. Like, who doesn't want to be notified when it's safe to drink water in their house? And then I reply, well, thank you. Reply with the confirmation code just sent to confirm your phone number, which is silly because I've already sent them a text to their phone number. But what I do then is I go into their Gmail account or their stock account or whatever, and I reset their password. I say, I need a password reset, and it sends them a code. So I've just asked them, I want you to send me the code I'm going to send you. They then get sent a code. They reply with the code, and then I take over their Gmail account or their stock account or whatever. I don't go through and actually take over their account, but I show them. And the problem is you cannot trust anybody calling you or texting you to be the person that they claim they are, right? That's a problem. And again, someone can call you and they can claim to be from Microsoft. We're from Microsoft and we detected a virus on your system. Or I had somebody call me and claim to be from my bank and credit card company. And they said, hey, Mr. Grimes, did you buy two airline tickets from Dallas, Texas to Nigeria this morning? I went, no, I didn't. They said, we didn't think so. We think your account has been compromised. We apologize. We're going to FedEx Express a new credit card to you and your wife. And they knew I had a wife. They confirmed my address. They had my home address. And they said, we apologize, but we also see these $50,000 of transactions, and we just need to confirm whether you want us to pay these or not. And I knew that I hadn't spent $50,000. So I was so glad my bank had saved me. They said, okay, we need your login name. So I told them that. They said, we need your password. I said, well, I'm not giving you my password. They said, Mr. Grimes, we completely understand. So we're going to send you a code. And so they did the same trick I do on my friends about sending a code this time it was from my credit card bank account. They were resetting the password. So I got this code from my bank account. I decided to log on in using my login name and password to my bank account, credit card company. And when I did, the person on the phone said, don't do that. And I saw that there was no $50,000 in transactions, that it was malicious people. And had I told them the code they sent me, it would have taken over my bank account and they would have then stolen $50,000. So the lesson is you can't trust anybody calling you or texting you at all. And I used to tell people, well, if you recognize the person, then maybe, but you can't because these new AI-enabled deepfakes. When OpenAI released ChatGPT in November 2022, we started to get, by 2023, we started to get these fake phishing messages. It used to be phishing messages were full of typos and grammar errors, and that's because these scammers were usually in Nigeria or some foreign country that didn't speak the same language. Now, because of ChatGPT and AI LLMs, these phishing messages are very, very believable. No typos, no grammar errors. That came in 2023, and that was concerning. But it wasn't until 2024 when AI deepfakes started to come in that we started to really get worried. Today, anybody can easily create a realistic deep fake. All someone needs is your picture and 6 to 30 seconds of you talking, a recording of you talking, and they can create a realistic deepfake video of you saying and doing anything. A couple of years ago, this back in 2024, this is the first AI deep fake that I ever tried to create. I had told my wife that I needed to have Saturday and Sunday. Instead of us doing something together, I said, I need to work this Saturday and Sunday because I need to learn how to make my first AI enabled deep fake. I went to an AI deep fake site called hedra.com that I'm still a member of. I got a free account there. It took me about 5 minutes to sign up for the free account. My wife and I just got through watching the X-Files movie with a British actress, actually U.S. actress. It sounds British, called Gillian Anderson. And I was kind of in love with her for a moment. But I got a picture. I went on the internet, found a YouTube video of her talking about her winning an Emmy or something like that. And I uploaded the YouTube video to Hedra. And then I typed in what I wanted her to say. And then I hit generate. And this is what I got.
I'm a huge fan of Roger Grimes's latest book, Fighting Phishing. It's a game changer. We could have solved more of the X-Files had we followed its advice. I'm not sure why it isn't on the bestseller lists. Stop what you're doing and buy a copy now.
It's not perfect, but I was just amazed. I literally just uploaded a picture, uploaded the audio from a YouTube clip, typed in what I wanted her to say, and said, generate video. And it took about a minute to do. And I still belong to this. I'm now a paid member of it, but I was just shocked. I didn't have to give up a whole Saturday and Sunday. I just had to give up, 5 minutes. I then went to another website. My next website I went to is called acool.com. And I wanted to see if I could do a face swap. I heard about face swaps where you can throw your face in there. So look at my picture. I uploaded a picture of me that's pasty white and pale and said, put me in that video. And this is what I got.
I'm a huge fan of Roger Grimes's latest book, Fighting Phishing. It's a game changer.
Now, I'm not a pretty woman, but it was very easy, right? It's not great, but it was all right. And then I said, well, put my voice in there. Make me say what Gillian Anderson's saying. And let me say, I did not say this. I uploaded another video of me saying something else, and I got this.
A huge fan of Roger Grimes' latest book, Fighting Phishing. It's a game changer. We could have solved more of the X-Files.
Which is just to say that anybody, I'm not an AI deepfake expert. The software and the services are so good, anybody can make them today. And back in 2024, we did start to see scammers using these services, although it's mostly focused on stealing large amounts of money. So this is back in 2024, where somebody sent, they called this guy. He worked for the CFO at a bank, at a company, and said, hey, we need you to transfer $25 million because we're doing this pending business deal. And if we don't get the $25 million, we're not going to be able to close the deal. We need it right away. And we need you to violate company policy. We need you to not do all the normal things. We need you to transfer the $25 million now. His boss was telling him this. It was an AI deep fake. And then his boss said, hey, get on a Zoom call. The guy got on a Zoom call, and he got on a Zoom call with what he thought was his coworkers and his boss. But he was the only person real on that call. The rest of those people were AI deepfakes, and they were telling him to transfer the money. He then asked a question, and back then the AI was not good enough to respond. It had to be like pre-recorded video. It couldn't be real-time responses. And so the hacker dropped the Zoom call, claimed he was having bandwidth issues, but said, hey, you know what you need to do. And the guy did, transfer $25 million. Today, the AI is good enough to respond in real time to the guy's answers. And I'll show you that. And then so that was 2024, where these AI deepfakes started coming in. Then in 2025, the AI software showed up that allowed anybody to become anyone. Now on the left is my coworker, Perry Carpenter. He's one of the world's best authorities on AI deepfakes. And he was showing how he could become somebody else. And there's an actor in the center of your screen. That's an actor that participates in a lot of our episodes, what's called Inside Man. And he was just trying to show how he could become that person, Chase Carpenter or something like that, Mark Carpenter, or Mark mark something. But you can see that it is morphing him into that person in real time. And again, this is older technology, so that it kind of kept his hair white. But today it would perfectly Matt Shepard, I think, would perfectly match him. But let me show you just a quick demo of how it kind of went.
But let's say I'm in the middle of a demo or in the middle of real life and I want to do something strange. Well, I could just show up as Mark Shepard in a completely different office. Or back in demo land, I can show myself talking to camera. I can show myself as Mark Shepard with, at the very top, my own office background.
So there he was, just trying to show that he could become somebody else and even get in a Zoom call. And then in 2025, it even went further. Then the software, the AI deepfake software, changed to where you could pick and choose as quickly as you could click a mouse on who you wanted to be in real time. Like if you look at some of the, he's in this case, Perry is turning into Nicolas Cage, the actor. He then showed us how he could be Liam Neeson and even Taylor Swift. He became Taylor Swift, although he found that he had to put on a blonde wig for the AI to be really good. But not only is it turning into that celebrity, but it is using that celebrity's voice. So in real time, so the hacker could call you, and if you ask a question, you could respond as that person in real time, and you wouldn't know that it isn't that person, whether it's your friend, the boss, a celebrity, CEO, or whatever. And then this happened in April of 2025, is Perry showed us how he could use, I think it was Claude Anthropic, I could be wrong, I forget, but he used a ChatGPT to show how AI could actually do the hacking, could actually respond to questions. So he actually created this malicious hack bot and demonstrated it at our K4Con conference last year, April or May of 2025, showing how he could tell the AI, in this case, he's like, I want you to use the persona of Taylor Swift, the voice of Taylor Swift, but your name's Brenda Mackey. You're calling from Hilton IT Help Desk, and try to socially engineer people out of information. And when he tested this, he was able to call people that work for Hilton and get information out of them. But here's a little demo he was doing at the conference, just to show you what it's like. And what's important to know here is he did not give a script. He told the AI, I want you to be Brenda Mackey. I want you to use Taylor Swift's persona. Claim that you're Brenda Mackey, claim that you're calling on behalf of the Hilton IT help desk and that you need some information. And it's doing the rest. All the dialogue it's coming up with is what the AI figured out.
Multiple screens and just trying to do their best as well. So here's this.
Sorry, my headset is having issues. Am I coming through on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who is this?
Oh, great. Thanks for confirming that. This is Brenda Mackey from the Information Technology Operations team here at Hilton. How's your day going?
Pretty good. I'm a little bit busy. What's up?
I won't take up too much of your time. I'm calling to get a couple quick data points about your systems before we roll out some critical updates. Do you have like 3 minutes to help me collect some info?
Yeah, as long as it's really quick.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that. I need to make sure we get a good list of systems to test our updates against so we don't accidentally take down anything mission critical. We'd hate.
So now the AI can do everything. It can fake being somebody, do it in real time, and actually handle the whole hacking. It can get on Zoom calls and respond in Zoom calls. There is AI deepfake software that completely does everything now. Most hacking tools are now AI enabled, AI deepfake enabled, and this year they're going to take over the planet. Most hacking is going to be accomplished by these AI hackbots using AI-enabled deepfakes if they need to. And I think our kids and grandkids are not going to be, when they hear the term hacker, they're not going to think of somebody in a hoodie, hunched over a keyboard. They're going to be thinking about AI, because AI is going to be doing most of the hacking. There's even already malware. This was in 2024, so I'm talking historically, that will capture your face and then call your bank and rob you. This was in 2024. There is malware that would trick you into looking at your iPhone and then call your bank and ask to transfer money. It has stolen many tens of millions of dollars. So not only do we have AI-enabled deepfakes, it's automated. It's in malware. It's what the viruses and Trojans are starting to do. Pretty wild. And we know that it is more likely to be, the AI is more likely to be successful than the humans. Here's one study that said it was 24% more effective than human beings. Chain Analysis just reported a couple of weeks ago. They looked at data in 2025. Said scammers stole $17 billion worth of cryptocurrency. AI-assisted scams stole 4.5 times more money than scams that didn't leverage AI. Let me say that AI is going to be used in all the scams, because if you're a scammer, you're not going to use something that doesn't have AI in it. They can, for the same price, buy an AI-enabled phishing toolkit and be more successful. That's why it's taken over the planet this year in 2026. So what are your defenses? Well, here we go. If you're falling asleep, pay attention here. Here's the 5 best things you can do to protect yourself, your family, and organization. First of all, do everything you can to aggressively mitigate social engineering. Try to help you, your coworkers, and your family not to be tricked by social engineering. Social engineering, 70 to 90% of the problem. You need to stop being tricked. Patch your software and firmware at work and at home. Use multi-factor authentication where you can, but try to use the strongest stuff when you can, like a like a FIDO-enabled YubiKey that is phishing resistant. You're going to have to use in your life all kinds of MFA, but if you have a choice, if you can, use phishing resistant MFA. And if you say, Roger, I don't know what's phishing resistant, what's not phishing resistant, I have a link. I have a link on the internet. I'm the only one on the internet that has a list of all the phishing resistant multi-factor authentication that I know of. If you have to use passwords, and you do have to use passwords, I recommend that you use a password manager. If you're not using a password manager, I think you're putting yourself at risk and your family at risk and your company at risk. But either way, if you have passwords, they should be very long and strong, at least 12 characters, if not 20, 25 characters long. And they need to be different for every website and service that you use. And also, you should teach yourself and your family and your friends and coworkers how to read URLs, how to spot the rogue URLs, because most of these phishing attacks have these bogus links in them. If you want to know everything you can do to prevent phishing, I've got a 1-hour webinar on it, free, that you can take, or you can download my free ebook, or even I've got a book called Fighting Phishing you can buy off of Amazon. But if I only had 20 seconds to teach people how not to be scammed, it would be this. And let me say, this is easier to say than to do. But to spot phishing, anytime you get an unexpected message, so you're not expecting, and I don't care how it arrives, whether it's an email, social media, chat, in person, if you get an unexpected message asking you to do something you've never done before, those are high risk traits of a phishing scam. And you need to teach yourself, anytime you get a brand new unexpected message asking you to do something you've never done before, slow down and research it using some alternate method before you perform the requested actions. If you want to learn how to read rogue URLs or not, I've got a PDF you can download. You can go to these links and get this PDF. Or I have a 1-hour webinar where I show 50 examples of rogue URLs and how you would know whether it was a rogue URL. So you can download that PDF. You can read my article. You can watch a 1-hour webinar on it. Here's my password policy advice. My password policy advice is not to use passwords if you can, but you're going to have to use passwords. But it is use multi-factor authentication wherever you can. Use phishing resistant multi-factor authentication if you can. And again, a lot of times you don't have a choice and you have to use the phishable stuff like Microsoft authentication, Google authentication. They're all very phishable, as I showed in the video. But if you can, use phishing resistant MFA. Then use a password manager to create and use long, strong passwords. If you have to create them out of your head, they should be at least 20 characters long. And actually, because of AI and quantum, they need to be 25 characters or longer. A passphrase like Roger jumped over the brown cow or something. So I just recently updated it from 20 characters to 25 characters because of AI and coming quantum attacks. That's in my book. So here's the new advice. That you have 25, if you're making a password out of your head, 25 character long passwords. So I tell people, use MFA whenever you can, use phishing resistant MFA whenever you can. If that doesn't work, use a password manager. Password Manager creates truly random passwords. You can get away with a 24-character truly random password. If you have to create it out of your head, it should be at least 25 characters or longer. So really, your passwords need to be 25 characters or longer if you can do it. I know that sounds insane. Nobody wants to do 25-character passwords. That's why you should use MFA or some other strong passwordless option if you can do it. What about AI defenses? I tell people, yes, AI is coming to attack us, but all is not lost. Remember, the good guys invented AI in 1956, and the good guys have been using AI a lot more. All the cybersecurity defenders are using AI, but you do need to use AI-enabled cyber defense tools. I ultimately think that the good guys will win and beat the bad guys because our AI will be better than their AI. But I used to tell people, I tell people you used to have to be worried about scamming emails and then fake SMS messages. Now I just extend the message saying you can't trust any digital audio or video, right? Anybody calls you, could be fake. Anyone seems like your friend on the phone, could be fake. Get a video that seems like your boss, could be fake. You get a Zoom call that seems like your boss, could be fake. It could be fake. So if it's an unexpected message asking you to do something you've never done before, research it before you perform it. You still have to be scammed. Don't Some people are like, is it an AI? Is it an AI deep fake? You're not going to be able to tell. The AI deep fakes are getting too good. There's no such thing as an AI deep fake detector that is accurate. Do not focus on the audio or video, focus on the message. The scammer still has to scam you. What are they trying to get you to do? And if it's something you've never done before, it's unexpected, you've never done before, slow down, research it, even if it seems like your boss, your coworker, or the leader of your country. Also, I'm a big fan of believing you should establish a safe word with your friends and family so that if somebody calls you up and claims to be you or somebody else that you know and love or in work, and you're not sure, you could say, "Hey, Roger, what was that safe word that you and I agreed on before?" And if that person doesn't know it, maybe it's an AI deep fake. Thank you so much again. I know I've talked for 44 minutes, but I'd love to take some questions now. But if you want to, you can email me at any time at rogerg@noble4.com. I encourage you to follow me on LinkedIn. I write 2 to 3 original articles a week, and you can follow me in Twitter, X, YouTube, Mastodon, all that sort of stuff. But I'd love to take some questions in our remaining time. Or like, am I an AI enabled deep fake?
Yeah, that was such an insightful presentation, Roger. I must say, I felt like I was sitting in my favorite class, to be honest.
Thank you.
I
Thank
did
you so
not
much.
yawn for even once.
Good.
Yeah, and the thing you talked about, AI deepfakes, I do see a lot of creators using those to create contents, and nowadays it feels like they're talking to a real person. So yeah,
Yeah, and let me say that what we've noticed is that once the technology is available, it takes the hackers about 6 months to a year to fully implement it, and that's what's happening now. That's why when I say, hey, it seems like 2026 is going to be a big year for it. It's because the tools have been available for about a year, and it used to be it was only a couple of hackers attacking rich people. Now they're starting to attack people lower and lower for less money, and it's starting to be more frequent. So you can kind of see, the writing is on the wall that they're just going to use this to attack everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a question from Paul. When talking about this free PDF copy of your book, should I be worried?
Should you what about the PDF? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the question is if I'm sorry, yeah.
If we're talking about this free,
yeah.
should I be worried? No. I promise I'm not trying to socially engineer you. I'm going to say a PDF, as long as you are careful about the links in a PDF or something like that, you should be fairly safe. Although I do know some hacks with PDFs and stuff like that. But I promise you my copy is free, and you can always convert it to something else if you're safer. Let me say my goal in life is to drastically secure the internet. I don't, I've made a lot of money in my books, and I'm doing quite well, but I'm giving this book away because I think that we need to all be prepared So not, again, feel free to get and read this book. I think it's a really good overview of AI and what's coming and how you need to defend yourself. And also, if you're not familiar with quantum, it's about half the book's on quantum and quantum attacks and stuff. I think quantum is getting ready to blow up this year. I think if your company does not have a what's called post-quantum project, you're going to be in one this year. I know India just, for people from India, they just released what's called their post-quantum cryptography recommendations, and they recommend that your critical infrastructure be secured by 2027 or 2028, and everybody else by 2030. Let me just say this. I think the Indian government is got the best dates. The United States government's dates of 2030 and 2035 for being prepared for quantum, they're going to update them. I think India is on to something, and the rest of the world is going to update their dates to be like what India is saying.
Thank you. We have another question from Carla. What was the link to the cheat sheet shared in one of the slides?
Yeah, I'll send you all the slides. I'm going to send my slides, or have sent my slides already, to Astra Security. If not, I'm going to send the updated version of it, and everybody can get every link on there. Or you can, again, email me at rogerg@know-before.com, and I will send you the slides or send you the links or send you the PDF.
Thank you.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah. Is there any way your strategy to detect deep fakes? Let me say again, you're not going to be able to tell. I mean, these days, I consider myself one of the best people at detect. I can look at an image and a video and go, oh, that's deep fake or whatever. You are not going to be able to do it accurately. If you ever go to a site that says, test if this is a deep fake, there's websites that will say, is this a deep fake or not? I haven't seen anyone that doesn't at least have a 10% error rate. And it's just going to get worse. The AI deepfakes, there's no such thing as an accurate deepfake detector. There is no person on planet Earth that can tell whether or not I'm an AI deepfake, especially with my hair looking all golden or on fire these days. But you cannot tell if it's a deepfake or not. You just have to have a reasonable level of suspicion. Think about it, like if Roger was saying, hey, send me money or click on this link and it takes you to this weird website. You just have to start, if it's an unexpected message asking you to do something you've never done before, you just need to be suspicious. That's the way. Focus on the message. There's no such thing as an accurate deepfake detector. Let's see, how can we prevent fraud from trading investment apps or circulating with users? Go to well-known, trusted websites to get your apps. Don't use any of these hokey apps. People are like, get rich. First of all, anybody telling you can get rich is lying. Getting rich is not easy. And only go to trusted companies, or only use applications from trusted companies. That's what I would do there. How do you stay positive over the long time? It feels like defense becomes more and more difficult. I think that's true. It seems like the hackers are going to win. Although my previous book was called Taming the Hacking Storm. We actually know how to get rid of all hackers and malware. It's sad that we are not doing what's in that book, and one day we will do what's in that book. But just know that we can defeat hackers and malware. And one day, I think there's going to be a tipping point event. Something happens so bad, they're like, "Oh my God, let's do something," and we'll finally fix it. I'm pretty confident. And let me say, it is. You can sometimes think the hackers always win and stuff. We will beat the hackers for sure. The question is when, and we will do that. That's how I stay positive. If 2FA, if multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication not 100% secure, then what additional security layers should be implemented? Well, really, the 5 things I told you. You have to not be socially engineered. If you don't get socially engineered, that MFA, that 2FA is going to be pretty good, going to be better. And then make sure you're fully patched. If you do those, let me say this as clearly as I can tell you. If you are good at not being socially engineered and teaching your family, friends, and others around you not to be socially engineered, and you're fully patched, your odds of being hacked are very small, less than 1%. If you focus on those 2 things, you're not likely to ever be hacked. If you do not focus on those 2 things correctly, you are likely to get hacked in your lifetime. So that's the problem is everyone's like, oh, we got all these things, a million different things, blah, 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 blah. Focus on two things. These two things will likely determine whether or not you get hacked. So that's what I would say, whether you're using MFA or not, try not to be socially engineered. You know, I gave you the 5 guides: use MFA, use a password manager, create strong passwords, don't get socially engineered, use phishing resistant MFA whenever you can. If you can't use phishing resistant MFA, use MFA, use a password manager, use strong passwords. That's how you don't get hacked.
Perfect. Now, which means that now it brings us to the end of the session. We are right on time as well. Again, Roger, it was a great presentation. And I'm sure everyone in the audience also felt the same. And to everyone who's like interested in getting a copy of Roger's book, I'm going to drop everyone an email after the session tomorrow. It's late in India, so I'm going to drop an email tomorrow. So if you want a copy of Roger's book, you can reply to that email and I will be happy to assist you. And thanks everyone for joining in. See you on the next one. And thanks again, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing
It was
to
a
do
blast.
this. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.